Barnaby Jones, starring Buddy Ebsen, also starring Lee Merriweather, with guest stars Gary Lockwood, Milton Selzer, special guest star Penny Fuller. Tonight's episode, The Platinum Connection.
Open it, quick! Quick!
Bowers called, Mr. Turner. He wanted to talk to you about the arrival of the
Keep that right there. Touch that alarm button and you're dead.
You better do exactly as he says, Mary.
You, take your hands behind your back. Come on! Lady, you got a key to that closet?
In the middle drawer of the desk.
Is this really necessary?
Do it! You can tape her mouth, too.
Mary, I'm sorry. It'll be all right.
Lady, come on, you, over here. Come on, move it. You in the vault room. Come on, move it. Ever want to torture somebody, stick this mask on them. My voice okay?
Good. You making that plane on time?
Come on, Nate, stop worrying. My ulcer's acting up as it is.
Now just drive careful. Stay under the speed limit.
Come on, Nate, we've been over this 100 times.
Now don't get impatient. You're always impatient. All right. You better take me now.
I'm making it more realistic, Nate.
What? We're partners.
Nate, I'm sorry, but you wouldn't last 2 minutes with some hard-nosed cop asking questions.
Why,
Nah. Quite all right. Yeah, business has to go on. Commitments, all that. Yeah, besides, it wouldn't be...
If you're not free for dinner tonight, I'll strangle Mitch.
Shock, you gotta be kidding. There's no word to describe the way I felt. I was in New York meeting with Zinnemann's fire when I got the word. You betcha, Frank. Anytime. Bye-bye. Yeah, that phone rings again, I'll climb the wall. Scotch and soda. with a twist, right? Hey, look, girls, help yourselves to the bar. Smitty, George, lend the ladies a hand. It's get acquainted time. Come on.
Mr. Mitchell, I'm Barnaby Jones.
Yeah, the insurance company mentioned you in the case. Come on in.
Thank you.
That phone. Hey, I haven't had a bite today. Think I'll mix a little nourishment. What's your pleasure, Jones?
Oh, nothing for me, thanks. If I'm intruding,
Oh, no, just a couple of buyers checking on my life. That phone's driving me crazy today. Come on, Jones, join me in a drink. Phones. Yeah. Hey, come on, my partner's dead 3 days, and I'm talking to a couple of lushes. You're out of your skull, Gloria. Sorry, Jones, what do you have?
Oh, nothing for me, thanks.
You know, I probably know less about that robbery than anybody. I wasn't even here. On a plane heading for New York.
Well, the police report had all the facts. I'm not going to take you over any old ground, Mr. Mitchell. I just wondered whether you had given any thought to the crudeness of the theft. Had you any ideas on that?
Crude. In and out of my place with $500,000 in platinum in less than 3 minutes? Come on, Jones.
Well, I mean crude in the sense that there are a lot of things left to chance. For instance, that vault had a time lock that activated at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're getting at, Jones, but, well, you know, it's inventory time. We take it on Saturday. And Nate could have been looking for some of the records we keep in the vaults.
And your silent alarm. Concealed buttons all over the place. A real pro would have seen to it that security system was neutralized the very first thing.
Only thing I can drink. Ulcers. Yes, John? I've been thinking. That guy was waving a gun around. He probably knew Nate was scared. Wouldn't touch any buttons. See, John, I want to cooperate any way I can. I'm a busy man. Got 1,000 things on my mind.
Well, I'm not going to bother you anymore, Mr. Mitchell. I really just wanted you to know that I'm going to be underfoot for a while.
Exactly what we hired to do, John.
Cover all the bases for California Meridian Insurance. You see, if this does turn out to be an inside job, one of your employees, say, well, then the bonding company would have to bear some of the liability.
Well, I hate to think of one of our people committing such a crime.
Mr. Turner, your partner, he wasn't really a physical man, was he?
Nate? Strictly a desk man.
That's another strange thing. He did everything that the thief told him to do. He taped Miss Duane, he opened up the vault, gave him all the platinum, and then for some reason he struggled with the thief.
I don't know, maybe he thought he had a chance to pounce on him, make a try. Hey, Jones, my head's like a block of cement. Can we chat about this some other time?
Fine. There's just one last thing. Your bookkeeper, Miss Duane, she seems to be giving a more accurate description of the man.
Well, coveralls and mask is how she described him to me.
Well, she seems to think now that he was much taller than she figured originally, well over 6 feet, with great massive shoulders, built like a wrestler. Can you think of anyone who answered that description that you or your partner may have known?
Not offhand.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mitchell, for your time. I'll let myself out.
Sure thing, John. Feel like a wrestler.
Anything new, Lieutenant?
Yeah, I lost a lunch betting on the game Sunday.
Should have checked with me first.
Talk with the other partner, Mitch Mitchell.
Yeah, there's a busy man. Talking to him is like having a conversation with a nervous kangaroo.
It's a candidate for a heart attack. That's a jewelry manufacturing business. I don't think I want any part of it.
You want to lose another lunch, Lieutenant? I'd like to bet that this was an amateur job.
No, it's too clean. You're on.
Did you talk to Mitch about the cloisonne enamel, Sam?
Too competitive, he says. Buys a $500,000 in platinum and says enamel too competitive? Go figure that out.
I'll talk to him first chance I get.
If you can catch him in one spot long enough.
Miss Dwayne? Barnaby Jones, I called earlier.
Oh, yes, Mr. Jones. Come right in.
You don't want to intrude on your lunch period?
That's perfectly all right. How can I help you?
This is where the masked robber locked you up?
Yes. I didn't know whether to be frightened or relieved. On the one hand, being locked in a closet, but yet at least his intentions didn't seem to include hurting me.
How would you describe his manner? Was he nervous as opposed to being cool?
Very cool. I fancy he's somebody with considerable experience in robbery.
Considerable experience.
Oh, yes, I'd say he was very professional.
I wonder if I could look at your vault room.
Of course.
I suppose since you were locked up in the closet in there, you didn't hear much of what happened out here.
When the shot was fired.
Miss Dwayne, how much time would you estimate we spent just now talking in your office?
Oh, about 2 minutes. Why?
That's about the same amount of time you said you were locked in the closet when you heard the gunshot.
About 2 minutes. Is there something wrong with my answers, Mr. Jones?
No, you're doing just fine. Just one point that seems strange, the speed with which the robber worked. Now, he got into that vault. He transferred 100 pounds of platinum out that door to a waiting vehicle all in the space of 2 minutes.
Very professional, as I said.
Can I get out that way?
Yes, of course.
Silent alarm?
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Mr. Jones. No? Oh, one moment. It's Sweeney. He doesn't like his discount.
Well, hang up on him. All right, tell him everything's taken care of.
A new billing will be sent to you, Mr. Sweeney. No, it's our pleasure. Goodbye.
You know, I feel like a one-armed juggler. Any news from Johannesburg yet?
None, and I've wired again.
Would you rip that thing out or something like that?
Eagle? Yes, he's, one moment. It's too late. You'll have to talk to him.
What's Jones doing here?
I thought he left. It's the buyer from Wilson's.
And that's how it all starts. A sheet of paper.
Oh, it starts long before that, Mr. Jones. Long conferences on trends, availability of metal stones, feelers out to the buyers.
You work mostly in gold?
Gold's a staple, never out of fashion.
I understand you've been with the company a long time.
14 years. Started off with just 3 of us. Mr. Turner, married back then myself. It's a nice family feeling. Mr. Mitchell came in 9 years ago as salesman, then bought in.
You know what's curious to me, Mr. Benson? Why so much platinum on hand?
That was Mr. Turner's idea. Before it goes up, he said. I said, speculating in the jewelry business is bad luck, and it was. Cost him his life.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
They know very little.
What are you talking about?
The police and Mr. Jones. They really know very little.
Jones told me you gave a more complete description of the robber.
Yes, I was a little confused when I first described him, remembering just that terrible mask, but I became more composed after Mr. Turner was buried. He was really a very big man, almost a head taller than you. Much, much heavier.
You know, Mary, I'm going to be depending on you a lot more now. Running the company alone. I want you to take on more responsibility.
Of course, Mr. Mitchell.
Maybe we can discuss it at dinner tonight.
All right.
Make a reservation at Roger's. You know, the insurance company may be looking for ways not to pay off on the platinum. You know, on the grounds that Nate was a little careless that morning? What I mean, Mary, is Jones works for them, so maybe we shouldn't go out of our way to cooperate with him.
That's exactly the way I feel.
I could win a Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah. You want one?
Oh, no, thank you. My waistline would never forgive me. I will take a sip of your lemonade. The nicest young man at the Credit Rating Bureau said I had the loveliest eyes.
That's a sign he has good judgment. Did you get into that list I left you?
I checked all of the employees you circled. Nothing yet.
What about Mitchell? Did you double check him?
Yes, he was on a flight to New York at the time of the robbery. Flight 522, departure 8 o'clock, with 2 stopovers, Salt Lake City and Chicago.
Stopover?
Arrival, New York, 3:42.
One look at Mitchell. It's hard to see him taking anything but direct flight. You know, I've been trying to put myself in the place of that thief. If I were a professional, I would have grabbed that bookkeeper the minute she opened the place. Then I would have seen to it that all the alarms were cut off and sat there and waited for one of the partners to show up.
Which leaves you with your amateur theory.
I'm babysitting $500 million worth of platinum. Did I make a connection before the robbery? Talk to a fence? Likely not. Fence would have been too smart to talk directly to a non-pro about a robbery that hadn't happened yet. If I'd gotten caught, I might have pulled him down too.
You'd have some idea of what your next move would be.
Sure, I'd have asked around, look for a middleman, maybe even somebody on the lowest rung of the ladder. That lowest rung might be a good place to start.
Isn't it strange? In all the years I've been making reservations for you here, I've never once been here myself.
Yeah, good food.
I envy your life, Mr. Mitchell. Knowing everybody, able to mix with any company. Haven't you ever thought of getting married?
Oh, plenty of time for that. Listen, back to business. Just a minute, huh? Mind if I use your phone, Andre? Help yourself. Ready whenever you are.
Powerhouse on Olson Road. Exactly midnight.
Who am I meeting?
I'll have him with me.
Doesn't leave me much time. I have to leave now to pick it up.
Midnight, or it's off.
Smitty.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Mitchell.
No, Mitch. Make it Mitch. Hey, what are you doing here? I didn't know you knew your way around town. This is sort of an in place, huh?
Well, I was talking with your, Miss Duane this afternoon about places to dine, and she recommended Roger's. In fact, she got me the reservation.
Hey, well, listen, just tell the maitre d' it's on me. Hey, Smitty, what happened with that bin? You know, that chick I lunch up with.
Well, I lead a very quiet life, Mr. Mitchell.
Hey, do me a favor, will you, Smitty? Come on over to my table. Come on. I've got Mary Duane with me and something's come up. You understand? Come on. You two know each other? Well, come on, Smitty, sit down. Look, Mary, why don't you and Smitty have dinner together? You know, the best of everything, champagne it out. I just managed to contact the supplier who's got to leave town within the hour, and I got to talk to him. And Mary, about that little business discussion of ours, start by my place in the morning with your books, and we'll see if we can't make some headway. Okay, have fun, you two.
Did you tell him yet?
No. But I think it's beginning to penetrate.
Maybe we should just get it over with.
Didn't you say patience was an important part of your plan? Let's not rush things.
You're pretty hard to locate these days, Andy.
Well, let's stay on the move, you know. Cops. Somebody sneezes wrong in this town, they step on my neck.
How long you been out this time?
6 months, and I'm staying clean, too.
Good idea. 5 jobs, 5 convictions. You're batting 1,000, Andy.
But no more. I mean it. $50?
I want you to pull a small job for me.
What?
A hypothetical job. Supposing you cracked a safe and came away real big, like $500,000 in gold. You can't get a fence in town to talk to you, which I know you can't, because last time you were trying to sell hot stones to a detective in San Pedro.
Hey, that was a bum rap. Entrapment.
The point is, Andy, you're bad news. You need in-between connections.
Hey, I'm sliced 16 ways before I even meet the man.
$500,000, Andy. You can't have any more than 2 or 3 fences in the whole town who can handle a score that big.
Metal, huh? That's something special, you know. Top of my head, I couldn't even guess.
How would you start?
Ask around. Promise a cut.
I'll be at this number all night. Think you can come up with a couple of names by morning?
Maybe. If, there was some sort of bonus.
You come up with the right name by breakfast and another $100 for you.
100? Don't leave that phone.
Come on, get that stuff moved in here. Hey, wait a minute. Where's the fence?
He wants it delivered. And certainly not in that van.
Well, nobody spotted that van. Look, Andrew.
Come on. Stop talking and start unloading.
You know, I don't like this. You said whoever it is would be here with the cash.
It's waiting. $250,000.
You didn't say we'd be moving around with it.
Slight change of plans. You want this deal or don't you?
You know what I want is a personal meeting, like where's the cash and that type of thing.
Load that trunk.
There isn't any fence, is there? I mean, there never was.
Load it.
Why so greedy, Andre?
You're beautiful. I'll bet your partner wondered about the same thing before you killed him. Move it.
No, that was different. I always thought that Nate would blow to the cops. He wasn't a good liar.
thinking of retiring?
A couple of these I might be able to.
What brought you down here?
Somebody slipped me the word that Roger might be a good man to talk to. I was on my way to see him when the news came in.
Who slipped you the word?
Andy Burns. That's all he had. Looks like I bought the name of a dead man. What'd the coroner have to say?
Well, sometime between 11 and 3. Watchman down the way thought he heard backfiring around midnight, so that should be it.
Ever hear of Roger fencing?
No, it's a percentage man. Maybe he was here fixing price, and the thief didn't like it. If the thief is that rough, he's no amateur, and you owe me a lunch.
Now, hold on. Case isn't closed yet.
Every Eagle employee, past and present's been checked. Rule out an inside job, I start looking for pro. Happy hunting, Barnaby.
There you go. Could be improved with a little rum, Mr. Jones.
This is fine. You work real long hours, don't you, Al?
A couple of hours in the morning, 8 to 2 at night.
I know you've been all over this with the police, but think about last night. Who did Mr. Roger talk to?
I don't recall anything except the usual glad handing.
No strangers? Nobody you hadn't seen before?
Oh, we might have a strange face or two, but mainly our trade is regulars. It's all by reservation. And if Mr. Roger doesn't know you, chances are you don't eat here.
They keep a reservation book?
Oh, sure.
You sure do make a tasty milkshake. Could I see it? The book.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's right over there. Help yourself. It's mostly all steadies.
Do they have a private listing for reservation?
Not that I know of.
Mitchell. Is that Mitch Mitchell?
Yeah, he runs a jewelry business.
Party of two. Do you happen to remember who was with him?
Oh, did I? Not a doll like he's generally with. She was sort of on the plain side, about 32, 35, reddish hair. Joe, the maitre d' said she works for him.
Mary.
You told me to come by this morning.
Right. Come on in. I had a terrible night last night. Want a drink?
At this time of morning?
It's not exactly a drink, you know. Lime, clam tomato juice, pepper, raw egg, and a little vodka.
No, thank you.
You know, Mary, I'm not exactly in the mood to work today. Why don't you just go on to the office?
Were we really going to work or just talk? You always seem to be on the verge of talking about something, but it never gets very far before you're off and running again.
Yeah. That talk. You know, Mary, you're really a very attractive girl. And
why don't we start out by being honest with each other?
Now what? Hey, make yourself comfortable.
Good morning.
Well, anything that can wait?
I was wondering if you were aware the police had recovered some of your platinum.
No, I didn't know. How much did they find?
Mr. Wayne? One button. It's about $5,000, isn't there?
Yeah. Hey, they catch the thief?
Please don't think so. You knew the restaurateur Roger, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, slightly. It's sort of a hello acquaintance. Why?
He was killed last night. They think he was dealing for the platinum.
Well, I can't believe it. Roger mixed up in something like this?
You left this place about 9:30 last night. Is that right?
Yeah, I started out to meet a buyer, And I didn't feel too good, so I decided to come home instead. Why do you ask?
Well, they figure he was killed about midnight. Police are probably going to be asking a lot of people a lot of questions, and they might even, you know, ask you to account for your time.
No problem here. I was home alone.
Well, being familiar with police procedure, they might ask for some sort of proof.
What do you mean, proof?
Perhaps the whole matter could be simplified by accounting for my time, Mr. Jones. I was with Mr. Mitchell the whole night. Thank you, Mitch. But I don't think my reputation would suffer too much. Any other questions, Mr. Jones?
No, I don't think so.
You know, Jones, you seem to be rather suspicious of me. Are you aware that I was boarding a plane at 7:30 that Saturday, in the air at 8, and meeting a buyer at the airport in New York City?
It reminds me, you took a flight with 2 stopovers. Why didn't you fly direct?
I had a lot of work to catch up on. No telephones, no business calls, no intrusions. You see, Jones, that 7 hours in the air gave me the opportunity to put in 7 solid hours of work with no interruptions.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Wayne.
Hey, Jones. If I, you know, seem a little irritable, I want you to know that the work's getting to me.
We all have off days.
You're quite a girl, Friday. Thanks a lot. That could have been embarrassing.
That could have been your neck.
What are you talking about?
I know everything. I overheard Nate telling you more than 3 months ago what had to be done to save the company.
Well, how little I understand women.
How could you? You've never known a real woman.
Ouch. That hurts. Mary.
Mitch, you know the trouble with you? You've always been too busy being the charmer. You've got no real business sense, like peddling that metal through Roger. Why deal with the underworld when there are businessmen just as crooked as you are?
You got mine, Mary.
A buyer once hinted to you that your license to buy industrial gold could work to your advantage.
Can't recall him.
Yes, that was the day you were busy hiring a new filing clerk, partial to wearing miniskirts and tight-fitting sweaters.
What do you want, Mary?
What am I offered?
$25,000. That's a reasonable figure.
I'd hoped I'd be worth more than that to you.
Well, I must admit, Mary, I don't understand you.
I know you don't.
Mary, what, I mean, when you knew what was going to happen, what were your real feelings?
At first, a sense of shock. And I don't know. It excited me. Something happening I wasn't prepared for.
When Nate was shot?
Again. Fear of you. And then... You're an exciting man, Mitch.
You know, Mary, I think we're going to get along just fine.
I'm sure of it.
She was lying, Betty. I touched the hood of her car. It was still warm. She probably drove up just before I did.
She could have driven out for cigarettes.
No. Her confession surprised him as much as it did me.
He wasn't prepared for such an alibi?
No, if she'd been in on it from the beginning, they'd have had their story down pat.
Barnaby, Mitchell was on a plane to New York during the robbery.
Loading time was 7:30. He could have checked in, handed over his ticket, mingled with the people in the waiting area, and left. By 8 o'clock, he could have been back at the jewelry company. The robbery and the murder took 5 minutes, and he's away. He drives the Platinum to some place that they have agreed upon in advance, back to the airport, gets on a nonstop flight to New York under an assumed name.
arriving at the same time the two-stop flight got in.
Simple matter to walk over to the other gate and meet his buyer.
Do you really think both partners were in on it?
They had to be, Betty. That's the only thing that explains the short time it took to load the platinum. No one guy was holding a gun on the other. They were both loading it. Only one thing. Where does Mary Duane fit in? And why was Mitchell so surprised when she gave him an alibi for that night?
Well, there's very little on her. There's very little to get. She lives alone, never dates. As a matter of fact, I came up with only one woman friend, a neighbor, Mrs. Andrews, who runs a little TV store.
Only one thing that makes sense. If Mary Duane had recognized Mitchell behind the mask that day, that would explain their sudden dating, getting together.
I'd hate to be in her shoes if she's holding that information over a killer's head, blackmailing him.
I have a feeling that Mary Duane can take care of herself in the clinches.
You're early. I thought we were going to meet for lunch.
I thought maybe we'd take a little drive, you know, have lunch somewhere along the way on the road.
And how lonely would this road be?
What?
I think I feel more comfortable in the city, Mitch.
I guess we'll stop playing games, Mary. Come on out to the car.
Oh, listen, before we go, this might interest you.
Sorry, we don't have the time.
Something new they've come out with. It's really marvelous. A TV camera and receiver for home use.
The car? Never want to torture somebody, stick this mask on them. My voice okay?
Good. See if the van is positioned right.
I knew it would happen that morning. Nate asking me to be sure to open early, and you supposedly on that plane. It was an hour-and-a-half tape. I had it fixed and running before you and Nate even went into your act. There is, of course, a duplicate. One that will find its way into the hands of the police if I should die or disappear. You're not the suicidal type, Mitch, and that's what you'd be doing.
You know, Mary, you must feel real pleased with yourself.
I'm not proud of what I did, Mitch. I thought about it and thought about it. Told myself it was crazy. And I think way down deep, I thought it was a way of getting closer to you. We worked together for so long, Mitch. I did have feelings that I couldn't help but think of you. Often. And I knew you'd need help from the beginning. I'll be sharing all your problems now.
You're my problem.
Oh, no, you mustn't think of it like that. It's a game. Thrilling and exciting. And what's ahead is exciting. We'll have so many things to share.
Note how compact this camera is. But why not browse? Take your time. Any questions, just call on me. Well, Mary and I really got to know each other when we discovered we had a common interest. She's a lovely person, just lovely.
I've only known her a short time.
She became absolutely fanatic about the new videotape systems, experimenting with different lighting and various angles. In fact, here's a tape Mary made herself. She shot this through a mirror. She was constantly experimenting.
Through a mirror.
Well, Mary claimed you could use a mirror with self-conscious subjects, like my grandchildren. Now, you try to pose grandchildren.
Miss Andrews, would it be difficult to make a duplicate of a tape?
Now, that's strange. You were the second person within an hour to ask that question.
We'll find the second who was the first.
Well, maybe you know him. Mr. Mitchell, he's Mary's boss.
Mr. Mitchell. Did Mary make a duplicate recently?
She sure did. But as I told Mr. Mitchell, I never saw it.
Where have you been?
Trouble?
No, but the time is short. The Platinum is at a beach house. Mitch wants me to meet him there at 7 and move it elsewhere.
How'd you get the location out of him?
We are on friendly terms. Hey, you're jealous. V, it's sweet.
Just simple trust, huh?
No, he buys the fact that we're partners. He needs me as much as I need him. Hey, you are jealous. I like that.
Change is all the women want. What's different? What's different?
Mr. Benson, these security mirrors, they're all fixed in place, aren't they? I mean, usually.
They're supposed to be. I see that one's moved around.
Thanks. Mr. Dwayne's office looks like a windstorm hit it.
Yeah, Mr. Mitchell was in here looking for a package Mary left.
What kind of a package?
He just said it was small. Mary put it away for safekeeping.
Did he describe the package? What size?
Well, about so. You know the package?
My answering service, I just got the message.
Just a second.
The service said you mentioned the package.
I can't stand designing jewelry I don't like. It's not modern. It's tasteless.
Sam, you found a package I was looking for?
What's so important about a little package? Mr. Mitchell, it's not healthy for a man to be so intense. Today's troubles you laugh at tomorrow.
Sam, you find a package or didn't you?
Yes. I was returning a file to Mary's office, and it was so messy, I decided to neaten it up.
Well, just show me, okay? I mean, it's not important, and maybe it is important. I don't know.
It's not in Mary's office.
What?
I've got it right here. I found it behind a box of staples in the bottom of a bag.
Well, thanks, Sam. She's in a hurry.
Make up your mind how much to cut Mitch in for?
I think 0 would be a nice number. How long will it take disposing of it?
6 weeks, no longer.
I don't believe it. It's unbelievable. Both of you. Both of you in on this. It's incredible.
Might be wise for you to put that away. They do go off, you know.
Yeah, indeed they do. Indeed they do. Well, how long's this been going on? You two?
Christmas a year ago. Neither one of us had anything very special to do after the office party, so I made Christmas dinner for us. And now, there are wedding plans.
Well, that's nice. Very nice. But you, might have to change those plans.
What's that?
That. Helpful Sam. He found it for me.
Sam?
What's he talking about?
I haven't the faintest idea.
You've got a bad memory, Mary. It's your precious duplicate.
Duplicate?
The duplicate was mailed to me. I've got it locked away.
No, Sam. We found it straightening up his office. So don't tell me this isn't it.
That's right, Mitch. It isn't. Dropped a gun.
So this is your ploy, Jones.
Just consider it a little gift. Another gift for you, Miss Duane. You'll be happy to know that your friend Sam is still your good and firm friend. After I explained it to him, he agreed with me that it was better for you to do a little cell time than for us to stumble over your body somewhere. Get me the police.
All I'm saying is you could have phoned before heading up to that beach house.
Did you ever follow Mitchell in a car? He hit 100 in a couple of places.
What charges can you bring against Mary Duane and Smith?
Grand theft, conspiracy, obtaining stolen goods.
But neither one of them had any prior record?
Nope, first time in the bullpen.
Well, if Mitchell didn't have any prior record either, then it seems to me that everybody involved in the robbery of that vault is an amateur.
Yeah, that's, I guess that's one way to put it.
You know, Lieutenant, maybe you ought to stop betting lunches.
Barnaby Jones, starring Buddy Ebsen. Also starring Lee Merriweather, with guest stars Monty Markham, Catherine Justice, Lyndon Childs. Tonight's episode, Doomed Alibi.
there it was. It was pitch black. The fellow was way up at the top of the tree. Couldn't even see his hair in front of his face. All of a sudden, the limb let go, and there he did, hit the ground, flat like a rock. Then all the dogs jumped on him except old Lou.
George.
And then old Lou jumped on him.
Isn't that Vince Barrett?
I think it is. Oh, Henry. Hey, this is fantastic. There you go, girls. Dig in. Now, come on, just dig in, dig in. Oh, Henry, that's just what the man ordered.
George, do you think he'd take a picture with us?
Oh, now, Irma, let's not bother.
Oh, come on, George. That's the first movie star I've ever seen. Come on, George.
Just keep all the wine and the food flowing, Henry. As the man said, we pass this way but once.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett?
Huh?
Mr. Barrett? George Anderson, Duluth, Minnesota.
Well, I'm pleased to meet you, Mr. Anderson. Henry, would you pour some champagne for the ladies?
Oh, this here's my wife, Irma.
Miss Anderson, my pleasure.
Oh, George and I never missed one of your television shows.
Well, thank you.
Comanche Sun, Flaming Desert, Slinging Lead.
Well, you folks are mighty kind, but you sure are going back a few years. I've been out of the show business for some time now, and I'm just ordinary businessman today.
Oh, not in our eyes, Mr. Barrett. Why, you're still one of our favorite Western stars.
Well, thank you, Miss Anderson.
Mr. Barrett, any chance of you taking a picture with me and the wife?
Best chance in the world, Mr. Anderson. It'd be my pleasure. Rita, it is Rita, isn't it, honey? Here, grab that old camera and just snap a picture of me and these fine folks.
Oh, Mr. Barrett, thank you so much.
No, it's my pleasure. Do it all the time. Love it, love it.
I'm so thrilled.
You ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's him. Pretty free with that pencil, isn't he?
Why not? It's my signature, not his. What'd you say his name is again?
Hatfield. Rick Hatfield. Local disc jockey from some little burg up in the San Joaquin Valley. Santa Carlita, I believe. You want me to call the police?
No.
No. He's already done this 3 times. I think we should call the police.
No, not just yet. Shirley? There he is, sweetheart. Now suppose you find out just how good an impersonation that fella does of me.
Vince, I don't like doing this sort of thing.
Honey, he's the reason I settled you in here. Now just be nice.
Just how nice am I supposed to be to you?
Nice enough to find out what I want to know. Go on. There you go. Oh, you need some more, Miss Anderson, huh?
She's a devil, I tell you.
Oh, them Minnesota girls. Well.
Aren't you Vince Barrett, the motion picture and TV star?
Yes, ma'am, but if that don't please you, I'll be glad to change myself into Snow White, 7 Dwarfs. Yes, sir. He might just come in real handy. Good evening, Ted.
Well, it wasn't until now.
Where's your houseman?
I gave him the night off. What is it, Barrett? I thought I made it clear. We have nothing further to talk about.
Now, Ted, listen to me, will you? Just give me 10 minutes.
I'll do better than that. I'm going to see to it you get 20 years.
Now, Ted.
You've stolen from me long enough. I'm having the company's books audited, and when they're finished, so are you. Now, if you don't mind.
Ted? Now, come on, Ted. You got to listen to reason. I got into some bad investments. I got in over my head.
Not only a lousy crook, you're a rotten businessman as well.
Damn it, man, I'm your partner.
Ex-partner when the audit's done. And you're also an ex-cowboy star. Maybe with a little time off for good behavior, in 10 years, you'll be an ex-con.
You can't do that.
You just watch me. If I were you, I'd get a good lawyer, and fast.
Mr. Jones, I'm sorry I'm late.
That's all right. You must be Chris. Great view you have here.
Oh, yeah. My father used to love this place. He spent as much time down here as he could.
Well, nobody can fault him for that. Say, you mind taking a walk on the beach while we're talking?
Not if you don't mind getting a little sand in your shoes.
Not at all. Very relaxing. Sound of the surf pounding on the beach. I guess, make it difficult to be heard if you're out there yelling for help.
You mean that's why none of the neighbors heard my father call for help? You're wrong, Mr. Jones. There was none.
According to the police report...
Hang the police report, Mr. Jones. My father's death was no accident. He was an excellent swimmer. And more importantly, he had a very hard, fast rule about anybody swimming alone, even himself.
Rules are made to be broken, Chris.
Years ago, his brother David drowned while swimming alone. Dad never got over that. Did you?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Could your father have lost this? I found it up on the deck.
Turquoise, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. More like something Vince Barrett would wear.
Vince Barrett? Cowboy actor?
Yeah, he was a partner of Dad's in a land development deal. Been down here a couple of times on business.
These floodlights, they work on a timer?
Yeah, that was another one of Dad's safety precautions. They come on at sundown every day.
Now, I understand that the beach lights were off when your father's houseman came home. He didn't find his body till he turned the beach lights on.
Which would mean that my father would have had to have turned those lights out and then gone into the surf alone. Now, surely you can't believe that, Mr. Jones.
Well, I don't know what I believe yet, but I just can't leave a question like that in the dark.
And that about wraps up KBEX's late morning news. Now back to the Rick Hatfield Show and some oldies of yesteryear. As the old Duke says, no song like an old song. Pilgrim. Hey, Marty, let me borrow your glasses, will you? I need them to read these commercials.
Then you shouldn't have left your glasses down in L.A.
Come on, Dave. If you'd seen that girl, you wouldn't blame me if I'd forgotten my shoes.
Shoes, I'll loan you. My glasses I need.
Am I to understand you with the drive, a man of his side, just because the beauty of a young lady led him to misplace his glasses?
You forget, I checked your action. The chicks you take out, you're better off without glasses.
Not this one, Marty. Sensational figure, low, sexy voice, and a face that would make Da Vinci wig out.
Yeah, sounds like you're the one wigged out.
Wigged out, turned on, and torn up.
Well, I suggest you gather yourself together. That record ends in 5 seconds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've always said, show me a man who likes an old song, and I'll show you an old man. Yes, yes. And if you'd like to see an old man who'd like to see you, get yourself down to Crazy Ed Hayes. Got so many recreational vehicles on that lot of his.
Hi, I'm Barnaby Jones.
Oh, Mr. Jones, come on in. I'm Ben Reston, Vince Barrett, attorney.
Thank you.
Vince? This is Barnaby Jones, a private investigator who called.
Detectives. You're one of them fellows that herded me and Wyatt and Bat and the rest of them right on off the tube.
Well, I wish my work were as easy as television shows make it look.
Well, sit down, Mr. Jones, and tell us how we can help lighten the load for you.
Thank you. Chris Mason asked me to look into the death of his father. I thought you might be able to help me.
Poor Ted. I not only lost a good partner, Mr. Jones, I lost a dear friend. I'll be glad to do whatever I can.
Did Mr. Mason have any setbacks recently? Any emotional upsets?
Ted Mason take his own life? You're barking up the wrong tree, Mr. Jones.
There's always a possibility that Ted might have committed suicide.
Suicide? Ted wasn't that kind of man.
Yeah, that's the way his son feels. Did he have any enemies?
Well, what man doesn't have a few, but none who'd do him in. No, Mr. Jones. On the face of it, I'm afraid I'd have to agree with the police. It had to be an accident.
Well, it's not the first time I'd wind up chasing my shadow around the rain barrel. Oh, I found this out at the Mason house. Chris thought it might belong to you.
I'll say it does. Came out of my hat band.
Probably lost it on Saturday night.
No, must have been 2 weeks or more. I've been turning this place upside down looking for it.
And you weren't out at the Mason house over the weekend?
No, I spent the weekend at the Parkhurst Hotel up in Los Angeles. I do appreciate your finding this stone for me. It's a match set. I couldn't replace it.
Any more questions, Mr. Jones?
No, I don't think so right now. If I do have any, I'll give you a call. Thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. I don't like it, not one bit.
Don't get yourself worked up. The night Ted Mason died, you were at the Parkhurst Hotel.
Mm-hmm. And suppose Jones finds that fella who was really there.
I think maybe it's time I paid a call on our disc jockey friend. As your attorney, if I explain to him we're going to press charges, I think maybe he might be persuaded to cooperate.
Man should always consult with his lawyer first. Saves a lot of wear and tear in the long run.
Hello.
Shirley? Guess who?
Well, Vince Barrett, of all people. It's Hatfield. What do I do?
Blame along.
Well, how did you get this number?
From your answering service. Celebrities do have privileges, you know.
Well, it's awfully sweet of you to call, Vince.
It's awful short notice, I know, but, well, I sure would like to see you again.
He wants to see me again.
I told you he'd be a problem.
Tonight?
Tell him you'd like nothing better.
I'd love to, Vince.
What are you thinking?
He's got the phone number here. What happens if he connects you to Shirley? That could mean real trouble.
Ben, we got the company now. There's an awful lot at stake.
I know that.
Can you handle him?
Looks like I'll have to, doesn't it?
Permanently.
All right.
You have to understand, Mr. Jones, we get a lot of celebrities here with all the fans and groupies hanging around. Privacy is the watchword of our establishment.
Yeah, with me, too. I'm a private investigator.
Well, we sure get a lot of fellows like you, too. Bad for business.
Maybe I can help you with the overhead.
Vince Barrett.
Saturday night.
Spent the entire evening in his suite, private party, left a wake-up call at the desk at 1:30.
Now, hold on. That blew by so fast, I just got to breathe.
Well, let's see. There were the Andersons, a middle-aged couple that Barrett picked up by the pool, and a sharp-looking chick, Shirley. I didn't get the last name.
They're still in the hotel?
The Andersons made reservations at Valhalla in Apple Valley. I don't know about the chick. Or the guy who left the glasses.
Glasses?
Housekeeper found a pair of men's glasses in the room after Barrett checked out. They didn't belong to Mr. Anderson. I called Barrett's office. His secretary said he didn't wear glasses. Interesting.
Now, hold on just a minute. Don't tell me. Let me guess. You are in charge of the lost and found department, and the glasses are in your possession.
You got it.
If private eyes are bad for business, I'll bet you never see a recession.
swear. If that fellow who painted the Mona Lisa could see you right now, he'd have to tear it up and start from scratch.
You could turn a girl's head, Mr. Barrett.
Oh, Vince, honey, same as before. We Barretts don't stand on ceremony.
Well, looks like you came prepared for one.
Flowers for now, a little champagne for later. My daddy always said if you can't win a lady's heart between those two, you don't deserve the family name. Do you mind if we use up a little bit of your sparkling water?
No.
My mama used to say, give cut flowers a taste of the bubbling. Keeps their color fresh, bright for a long, long time.
Sounds like you have plans.
All completely honorable, ma'am. I assure you. Code to the West.
Does the code of the West include a steak? Huh? I'm starved. Where are we going?
Well, now, that does present a bit of a problem. Much as I want to show you off to the world, I want to keep you all to myself, too.
I know just the place. Ferguson's at the beach. It's small, quiet, and dark enough that no one can tell the famous Vince Barrett from Mickey Mouse.
Oh, I like your thinking, gal. I like your thinking.
No, sir, Mr. Jones. We wouldn't forget these glasses, would we, Irma?
Oh, dear me, no. That was the most exciting evening of our whole vacation.
The dinner you had with Mr. Barrett.
I can't wait to tell my bridge club that we had dinner with a real movie star.
And by the time her bridge club gets through with it, it won't be just a dinner. Irma will have had a screen test, and I'll have had an affair with some young Hollywood starlet.
George.
Who else was at the dinner?
Oh, just the most precious young lady. Mr. Barrett met her by the pool, and I think she was quite taken with him. You know, I'm certain that we have a snapshot of her here somewhere. Let me look.
And who did wear the glasses?
Oh, Vince. Mr. Barrett, of course. But only when he signed the check.
Well, I understood Mr. Barrett didn't wear glasses.
Well, being a Hollywood movie star and all, a fella's got to keep up his image. You don't exactly picture a Western gunfighter wearing a pair of specs now, do you?
Here we are. Shirley and Vince make a handsome couple, don't you think?
Shirley. You didn't have to catch her last name.
Gee, I don't remember. Do you, Irma?
No, but then it was very informal. Like we were all very old friends.
This picture of you with Mr. Barrett taken at the pool, that was taken before dinner.
Right after we met. Like Irma says, we were together from then right on through the whole evening.
Mind if I borrow this?
What do you want a picture of us for?
I promise to return it, and along with it, I promise to give you an enlargement.
8 by 10?
You can depend on it.
That's very nice, George.
All right, thank you very much. You enjoy your vacation, and I'll get this back to you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 You know something, Irma? He didn't even say what he wanted the picture for.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Doesn't hold a candle to you.
Careful. Flattery has taken a lot of men further than they wanted to go.
That's true. To me, you're just about the prettiest thing I ever laid eyes on. The way you talk, the way you move. Oh, the truth is, I was kind of surprised when you took me up on my offer to go out tonight.
Well, that doesn't sound like the Vince Barrett I know.
Well, now, supposing I wasn't Vince Barrett, not rich and famous, but just an ordinary guy, how'd you feel about me then?
How would you feel about me if I weren't as pretty as you say?
Now that I know you, I feel exactly the same way. Shirley.
Oh, shh. Don't say any more. That's the sweetest thing anyone's ever said to me. Why don't we take a walk?
Yeah, okay.
I think I should have worn my shawl.
Oh, here, take this.
No, I've got mine back in the car.
Well, I'll get it for
No,
you.
no, don't be silly. I'll get it. Only take me a second.
Okay. Shirley. Oh, am I ever glad to see you. I've been waiting out there on that stairwell all night.
Shot.
No, it's okay. It's okay, I think. Oh, no, it's all right. I'm okay.
Take off your jacket.
Man, I waited and I waited. When you didn't come back, I was afraid they'd gotten you too.
No, I panicked when I heard the gunfire. I was afraid to come back to the apartment, so I spent the night with a girlfriend.
You didn't call the police?
I started to, but I guess I'm a coward. I was afraid to get involved. Did you call them?
No, I couldn't.
Even after someone tried to kill you?
There's a reason I can't go to the police. I'm a fake, Shirley. I'm a complete phony.
I don't understand.
I'm not Vince Barrett. I've never even met the man.
What?
I just look like him, and I do a very good impression of Barrett.
And who are you?
Rick Hatfield. I'm a small-town disc jockey from Santa Carlita. Closest I've ever been to the movies is to buy a ticket.
So then this whole thing was just a game.
Was. Till I met you. I tried to tell you last night, but...
Why do you think someone tried to kill you?
Well, it wasn't me they were after. But they thought I was Barrett. Don't you see, that's why I have to do something. I mean, when they find out Barrett's still alive, they might try again. Barrett has to be warned. If I go to the police...
I'll take it in the bedroom. Why don't you try to get some rest? We'll find a way.
got trouble. Ben can't be sure he finished that business with our friend. Just in case, if he calls you.
You shouldn't have tried to kill him, Vince. He did nothing to deserve that.
Honey, I told you we had no choice. But if he gets to the police...
Don't worry, Rick won't go to the police.
Well, now, honey, how do you know that?
Vince, you know how I feel about this thing. What would you say if I told you that Rick's all right and that he's not going to cause you any trouble? How would you feel about it?
Look, if he's okay and we're in the clear, I'm the most relieved man in the world.
Vince, he believes someone was trying to kill you. His first thought was to try to warn you.
He's there now, isn't he?
Yes. I'm not going to let you hurt him, Vince. I won't be a party to it.
Okay. Just bring him out here and I'll reward him for his help, and Ben can caution him against any further masquerades, and we're home free.
Don't lie to me, Vince. Not again.
Trust me, Cheryl. Trust me.
All right. But he's asleep now. It'll be a little while.
Okay. You better not miss this time.
Yes? Who is it?
I'm looking for Mr. Barrett.
Well, I'm sorry he didn't come in today. Perhaps I can help you. I'm Dan Foreman, the controller.
Oh, yes, sir, you could help. I'm Barnaby Jones, representing Chris Mason.
And he's worried about how the company will make out now that his father is gone.
That's right on the button. Somebody else must have posed that question.
Well, Mr. Barrett had anticipated some of the investors might share that view.
Well, Mr. Mason was top dog. He died suddenly. Might have been that it was due to some hanky-panky in the company, mightn't it?
Not with Ted Mason running the show. You can tell young Mason we're as solid as a rock.
And you anticipate that Mr. Barrett will run the company along the policies that Mr. Mason did?
Well, no two men see eye to eye on everything.
For instance?
Well, Mr. Mason had asked for a special audit the week before the accident.
Was the audit completed?
It was never started. Mr. Barrett canceled it.
Why?
He didn't want to make the stockholders nervous.
That seems funny. Now, these head chefs seems to me want to know what's in the pot.
Yeah, Mr. Jones.
I read a little left to right break. Just a little bit left of the cup.
You have a good eye, Mr. Jones.
That's what brought me here. I want to show you something and see if you see it the same way I did.
Yes, I remember a fine couple.
That was taken the day your partner died.
As a matter of fact, I had dinner with the Andersons that evening.
What's the purpose of all these questions, Mr. Jones? I thought we'd established the fact that Vince was at the Parkhurst Hotel that day and all that evening.
That's what puzzles me. There was something else there, too. Look at this blow-up. Notice that the turquoise stone that I found seems to be in place in your hat band. If you lost that 2 weeks before then, how do you explain it?
By George, I said you had a good eye. But I do recall I switched the band around before the picture so that empty set wouldn't show.
Now, why didn't that occur to me?
Well, I guess with you detective fellas, everything has to be checked out, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. I've checked out about everything except the name of the young lady that the Andersons said had dinner with you that night.
Shirley?
Shirley. You recall her last name?
Shirley Jennings. Charming young lady. If you like, I'd be glad to arrange for you to meet her.
Hello? It's for you.
Yeah.
I got a call from the haystack. They found the needle. Those glasses belong to Rick Hatfield. He lives in Santa Carlita.
Good work, Betty. I'll join you at the office in about an hour. We'll drive up together. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
No more questions, Mr. Jones?
Oh, now I have to go match up some answers. I'll find my way out.
Rick. Here, drink this.
Hey. Thanks. I must have been more tired than I thought.
You'll be happy to know that you don't have to go to the police. I got in touch with Vince Barrett himself.
You did? How'd you get his phone number?
A friend of mine used to work at the studios. Finally, when I got in touch with Mr. Barrett, I told him what happened. He wants to see you right away.
That's great. What'd he say about me?
No. Don't worry. There's not going to be any trouble.
And it's like I said, I want it clearly understood that Miss Jennings had absolutely nothing to do with my impersonation. I understand completely, Mr. Hatfield. Spoken like a gentleman. Now, what's all this about somebody wanting to kill me? Well, it's like Shirley said on the phone. There I was pretending to be you, and some guy took a shot at me. Did you by any chance get a good look at this Bella? Man, did I ever. I'll never forget that face. Mr. Barrett, you don't know how much I appreciate the way you're taking this. I mean, I never expected to. Holy. Mr. Barrett, that man, the one out there. He's the one. Are you sure? Man, I told you, I'd know that guy anywhere. We better call the police. Wait a minute. Something else wrong, Mr. Hatfield? Well, this telephone number is the, That's the one I used to reach Shirley. 2 and 2 do make 4, don't they, Mr. Hatfield?
If you talked to Rick, you know this wouldn't have happened. Ben! Vince! Oh, this... Ben!
Vince?
Open the door, Vince!
Are you okay? Vince?
I'm all right. Okay.
Said you wouldn't hurt him, Vince. You swore!
He's only unconscious. I had to slug him. He saw Ben and he went crazy. He grabbed my gun and we fought over it.
I told you should have let me handle this.
No!
Get up! Well, you was going for that gun, you...
Get him out of here. Now, come on, baby. Keep hold of yourself. We're all in this together. It's gonna be all right. Come on. It's okay. You just get yourself fixed up. Give me time to do some thinking. It's gonna be all right.
All I know is if I didn't ask him to make a few pre-recorded shows a couple of months back, I'd be up the well-known creek without a paddle.
Does he do this often? I mean, take off without leaving a number or calling in?
No, he's usually pretty reliable. What do you want with Rick anyway?
Oh, I wanted to give him the glasses that he lost.
Hey, he's been going crazy without these. Where did you find them?
Parkhurst Hotel. He left them in a suite there.
That's a first-class pad. Guess that's where the little fox he met must have been staying, since Rick didn't have the bread to spring for anything like that.
Do you happen to know the little fox's name?
Shirley. Rick dedicated at least a dozen numbers to her.
Does he know anyone else in L.A., say, Vince Barrett?
Know him? He knew Barrett inside out. Not personally, I mean, but... Excuse me. Who's that look like?
Vince Barrett.
Wrong.
That is little old Rick doing one of his many famous impersonations. But that really fooled you, didn't it?
I'll bet he fools a lot of people.
Oh, what did you make of that?
Like butter in the churn, everything is coming together.
Would you mind spreading it around a little so I could have a sample?
Well, up to now, our main problem has been that one man has been two places at the same time. Maybe we have just found the man occupying the other chair. Hello, operator. I'd like to make a call, please. Los Angeles, area code 213-555-7420. Have you got any quarters?
Listen, as long as I'm paying for this call, how about filling me in on who it's to?
Yeah, thank you, operator. Hello, Mr. Foreman. This is Barnaby Jones. Mr. Foreman, I need some information regarding the payment for Mr. Barrett's stay at the Parkhurst Hotel this last weekend. Do you have those records? Sure, I'll hold.
What does that have to do with Rick Hatfield?
Well, the biggest advantage in using another man's identity is that you can use his credit, too. Hello? Yes, I see. Mr. Foreman, have there been any recent charges made in Mr. Barrett's name that he claims were not his? Huh? Well, did they take care of those, too? I see. Well, thank you very much.
Are you going to tell me?
Seems there were several large hotel bills, dinners, rooms, and things like that run up in Barrett's name recently. Barrett claimed they weren't his. His lawyer, Ben Reston's been squabbling with Foreman about them for several weeks.
Well, what?
Well, suddenly, last Saturday night, Reston had them all paid off.
Saturday night. Isn't that the night?
It's the night Ted Mason died.
Going somewhere?
I thought I'd take a drive.
Without saying goodbye? Santa Carlita can be a lovely trip.
You knew in there.
I guessed. The kiss just clinched it.
You were with Barrett all the time.
Not when he wanted you out of the way.
I still don't get it. Why did Barrett want to kill me?
He was using you as an alibi to cover a murder he committed. He couldn't afford having you around. Where are you going?
Call the police.
Oh, darling, wait. You're honest and a little bit square, but don't be a fool, too. You and I are the only two that know who you really are. You can stay Vince Barrett. It's the chance of a lifetime. His money, his success, and me. The two of us together.
And Reston?
We'll cut him in. It'll work perfectly.
Yeah, until they come down on me for that murder Barrett committed.
Wait a minute, please. If you call, I'm an accessory.
Operator, would you get me the police?
Ben, stop him. He's not really Vince. You shot the wrong man.
What?
Put it down.
Put it down.
So there are two Vince Barretts.
That's the way it's shaping up. Let's hope there still are two of them.
Now, look, Mr. Reston. Move it!
Rick, it doesn't have to be this way.
Well, he doesn't seem convinced of that.
Ben, tell him if he plays it our
It's no
way...
good, Cheryl. We don't have any kind of guarantee.
We're up to our necks in this thing, and he can talk anytime he wants to. He's going in the woods right alongside Vince. Just keep moving.
If you kill me, you'll be fresh out of Vince Barrett's. I mean, suppose somebody comes around asking for him, huh?
By the time that happens, we'll have bled the company dry, and we'll be long gone.
Yes?
You are Shirley Jennings? I got the name from the registration in the car in the driveway.
If you've come to see Mr. Barrett, he's not at home.
His car's in the garage. So is Mr. Reston's.
They took another car.
That wouldn't by any chance have been Rick Hatfield's?
I'm afraid I don't remember anyone by that name.
That's funny, because Mr. and Mrs. Anderson, remember you were having dinner with them and Rick at the Parkhurst Hotel Saturday night?
I was with Mr. Barrett last Saturday night.
I hope you'll change your mind about that, because being with Mr. Barrett would put you smack dab in the middle of the Ted Mason murder.
You know that much.
I have a feeling you're going to tell me a lot more.
Keep digging. I want it deep.
Deputy, this is Betty Jones.
You mind telling me which one you are? Rick Hatfield. Right now, I'm glad of it.